Day 165 of the Ukrainian War Map, also known as the Russo-Ukrainian War. Juzzy here, and today is just a bit of another quick update of the Ukrainian War Map here in a simplified and down-to-earth approach. Now, as always, I like to start off with the Russian losses. Again, take these with a bit of a grain of salt, but hitting the 42,000 mark, 42,000 there. Now, also you can see wounded. If you do a math calculation, you'll see they actually use about a 3-to-1 ratio. So 41,900 multiplied by 3 is 125,700 there. This is normal within wars using the military. You get a lot more wounded than you do get killed. It's just the nature of things there. But let's have a look at some of the military hardware, as this is always a bit more reliable. And in the last 24 hours, there has been armored combat vehicles that have hit almost 20 more losses on the Russian side. Tanks a whopping 10, and artillery another 5. So that's always good to see. Now, as I say, ships, boats and floats, aircraft, things like that, that hasn't actually changed too much here so far. Moving on to the actual map itself. So we'll start off with some of the news from the Kharkiv region. So the Kharkiv mayor reported that 2 districts were targeted by Russian missiles overnight. Now, the Russian army shelled these districts with S-300 missiles, and it's never good to see that, but it was on the southeastern side there. Moving on to the Donbass region, where there is always certainly a little bit of action, we will start off with the Sloviansk and Kramatorsk regions here, particularly Sloviansk. So there have been Russian attempts to take this city, but information indicates that the Russian troops actually just failed and withdrew. Now, this is going to be quite difficult for them to take because, again, there's a lot of natural obstacles here, which makes it very, very difficult to take towns like these and push forward in general. If we were to move down to the Bakhmut region here and the city there was also another Russian offensive repelled, so Russians aren't doing too great on the front lines of their Donbass region there either. Now, with the Donetsk region and the Donetsk Oblast here, I just zoom down a bit here. Now, let's see. So there actually have been a lot of mass civilian evacuations in the Donetsk Oblast and city here. Most of the 1.7 million people who live in this region around here have in fact been relocated, probably further east, I suspect, a lot further east. There's a lot of room to move, literally. But despite heavy artillery, shelling, that sort of thing, Russian troops still couldn't break through the Ukrainian defense lines here. They're not making a lot of progress, the Russian troops, for sure. Also within the Donetsk region in particular, you'll see a town here, the Shins, I call it Shins there. Now, this Shins town was, there were in fact fires reported here, deep behind the Russian enemy lines, if I can get my words out there today. It's hard to determine, though, as current, if these are just natural fires or supply depots, like military supply depots. Although I will tell you, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, there was a military supply depot destroyed by the Ukrainian army right here. So more information perhaps to follow there shortly there too. Back onto the front line though, we'll have a look at Pisky for a moment. So this is a small town just outside the front lines here. Now, of course, Russia would love to get it because if you zoom in a little bit, it's actually sort of like a suburb, an outer suburb of the Donetsk city there. But Ukrainians still control Pisky right here, despite Russian claims over the settlement. So, yeah, Russia just does not seem to have been able to make much progress on the Donbass front line so far. Let's zoom out and move down a little bit to the Marinets city here. Now, in fact, yesterday, you might remember I've mentioned about Nikopol. There was a bit of shelling there. There was some shelling at Marinets here overnight, of which it was just 50 or so private residences damaged. Nothing in the sort of the key strategic military type of way there at all. And of course, moving across back to the Kherson region, where we have a large number of Russian troops on the northern bank right here of the Dnieper River, all on the front line. Now, the UK intelligence has warned that, of course, as we know, Russia is amassing troops in the south of Ukraine here, but the purpose of the build-up is not yet clear, so they say. But many analysts speculate that Russia is spreading its resources thin as it attempts to sort of save the area from counteroffensives from the Ukrainians, which is happening all over the front lines of the country really now. So that's really good to see there too. Now, just lastly in news, so Ukraine has actually detained 2 people accused of being Russian spies. Now, apparently they've been providing Russia with coordinates for missile strikes in the Mykolaiv and Odessa regions, so around here, these spots here. This happens occasionally, and it's always nice to hear when people like this they really are effectively spies, aren't they? Smoked out and detained. Now, moving a little bit back across to the Zaporizhia region in terms of news. So, of course, the nuclear power plant has been fired on or shelled upon by Russia, and the EU has accused Russia of breaching safety rules after rockets damaged part of the nuclear power plant there, right here, in fact. And there is, in fact, a bit of a build-up of Russian troops here as well. So, and the photo shows that here. But what seems to have happened is there was a building and power lines that were affected at the nuclear power plant, which is not great for any nuclear power plant because it does need power to keep the reactors cool and things of that nature there. Now, zooming a bit back out, but the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that at least 1,060 out of the 3,600 settlements have been liberated from the Russian occupation. However, most of them require significant restorative work and demining. In fact, there are frozen Russian accounts to the amount of about $600 billion in the United States. And after all is said and done with the war, this money is likely to be reallocated to the restoration of Ukraine, which is a nice kind of a creative solution to a war problem. But that's about it for now, guys. Just keeping it quick and simple today, as I say every day, but it does drag on. Apologies for that one. But thanks for watching. Please leave a comment, subscribe. Don't worry about the trolls in the comments. Show them who's who. Give me a like. And yeah, I do hope to see all of you guys there in the next one. Cheers.